What are we? We are innovators. We are helping our customers be on that leading and sometimes bleeding edge of technology as they're trying to innovate and bring the latest technology into their products to help them stay relevant. Good afternoon, everyone. Appreciate everybody making time to come out this afternoon. Thank you, Kenny Chen, for the great talk about Pittsburgh AI and what's going on in the area around artificial intelligence. And Delvina, thank you for the insights of what's going on in the Pittsburgh Technology Council around innovation. So now I want to combine both of those ideas a little bit, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into artificial intelligence and machine learning. But we're going to talk about the art of the possible. What are we doing with customers today in this space? I want to try to make it a little bit more real than, you know, Skynet going online and killer robots that you're seeing in the news. There are really good uses of this technology going on today. I also want to thank Brianna, who's here in attendance. She's helped me set up a couple of these demos that we're going to do as part of this. We're going to tempt, you know, Mr. Murphy a little bit with demos. We'll see how it goes. But, you know, to demo some of these technologies that Amazon Web Services is putting out there. So if you'll allow me for a minute just to give you a little bit of background on EagleDream Technologies. And we're really excited to be here in Pittsburgh for this event. This is the second event we've done down here. I love coming down to the Pittsburgh area. I mean, the vibrant downtown, and who doesn't love a tunnel through a mountain right in your downtown? That's just got to be lovely when traffic gets bad. But also, we have a vested interest. Our CEO, Bob Moore, is a Pittsburgh native. His family is still here. So we really want to expand and continue to help customers in the Pittsburgh area. But who is EagleDream? What are we? We're an IT consulting company. We're based in Rochester, New York, so about a 4.5-hour drive away. And we specialize in helping companies with digital transformation, strategic cloud transformation, and innovation. What are we? We are innovators. We are helping our customers be on that leading and sometimes bleeding edge of technology as they're trying to innovate and bring the latest technology into their products to help them stay relevant. What makes us unique, though, in the cloud space as a partner with Amazon Web Services is we are a group of builders. The majority of people that work at our company are software engineers or computer scientists. So we come at all of our problems from this view of it's a software solution, okay? And we are recognized experts in our field. We have one of the top chief information security officers in the area who's very active in all the security things going on in the security world. We have just a number of people that have been recognized by different groups as experts in the technology. We are also the region's largest and fastest growing AWS partner. We're currently an advanced tier consulting partner. Within the next 6 months, we'll be what's called a premier tier partner. There's only 124 premier tier partners as of last November. So we're really excited to be able to achieve that level. We specialize in helping customers with DevOps. So again, we're software by default. So this whole idea of DevOps, and look, DevOps is like one of these terms that's way overused in the industry today. But we understand what it really means to practice DevOps. We're what's known as a well-architected partner by AWS. We were a launch partner for this platform with 30 other hand-picked partners in the AWS ecosystem. And what we do is we work with Amazon. They bring customers to us and ask us to help the customers optimize their workloads inside of AWS. Looking at efficiencies in operation, is the workload secured in the best way possible? Have they planned for reliability and performance, and are they optimizing their cost? So enough about EagleDream and about me. Let's talk about what's going on in the industry with AWS around AI and ML. So what you see here is a list of most of the services that AWS has provided to the customers. AWS now has something like 160 different services that are available. This is a subset of it, specializing in the AI ML. And what we have here is a mixture of sort of services that are just there, an API away, basically, to use, and we also have some services on here that are about teaching, helping people start to understand this new world of AI. So things like deep lens camera, that's what this white device sitting on a tripod is, and we're going to be using that as part of the demo here in a little bit. That's a deep lens camera, and it's an AI, machine learning enabled digital camera that we can experiment with and try new things to see what's possible. The Amazon Deep Racer, if you haven't seen one of these, both the Deep Lens and Deep Racer, you can go to Amazon.com and purchase. I think Deep Lens is about $300, the Deep Racer is about $350. Deep Racer is a 1/18 scale, I can't call it a remote control car, it's an autonomous car, but the whole, they put it out there to help people start to understand how to build AI and machine learning models so that this car can navigate around a racetrack. And just to give you an idea how fast the innovation is going around this, they launched this at the end of November last year at the big reInvent conference. The first users of this spent a day training their model to drive this car around a track. The best that somebody could do there was to get their car around the track in roughly 51 seconds. The Singapore AWS Summit just happened a few weeks ago, and at every one of the summits, they're doing a race league. It's a global race league for these things, believe it or not. The winner there was able to do it in just over 9 seconds. And unofficially, it's been reported somebody now has gotten it down to 6 seconds. So we've almost seen an order of magnitude increase in speed of what this little car can do. So that's something that you can use to learn more about this. A couple other interesting services on here. We're going to talk about Alexa for Business. We have one here to show how these AI tools can also be used in your office setting. But let's take a look at some of these other items. Amazon Forecast. So what is really unique about this list is these are all software driven. I don't need to have a PhD on staff to go build me an AI model. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if I'm an innovator and I'm working at some company, I want to try something fast. I want to see what I can do. So if we take Amazon Forecast, for example, this is a forecasting algorithm. It's the same algorithm that Amazon.com has developed to help them manage their warehouses that they're giving to you as a consumer of Amazon Web Services to leverage for your business. I'm working with a company in upstate New York that wants to use this. This particular company loves their data centers. I can't convince them to entertain moving to the cloud. But the problem they have is they need a way to forecast the capacity that they need in their data center and how many VMs they need to turn on when. I'm like, well, if you just put it in the cloud will do that for you. But they really love the data center. So they're using Amazon Forecast and feeding 3 years of time series data about how they've had to do things in their data center so that Amazon Forecast will start telling them when they need to add more capacity and more VMs into their workloads. AWS Glue. This is an extract, transform, and load tool for anybody in sort of the business intelligence and data warehousing space. They've embedded AI and machine learning now into this tool because, let's face it, how many people have a single system that defines your customer? Yeah, kind of what I thought. So how many times do we battle that problem of system A has Scott spelled S-C-O-T, system B has Scott spelled S-C-O-T-T, maybe somebody put 2 B's in my last name, and we really just want to know that it's Scott Weber, right? So now inside your ETL tool, it is going to give you probabilistic matches that this Scott Weber across these disparate systems is actually the only Scott Weber that you care about. Amazon QuickSight. This is a business intelligence visualization tool. They have now embedded into this forecast. So think about this. You're running your time series data, maybe you're seeing how sales is trending, and you'd like to see what the forecast is. It's now embedded into your visualization tool. There's another thing that they've added to QuickSight around anomaly detection, and the third one that they've added, I've yet to actually see work, but it intrigues me, is that it will actually build your talk track for you based upon what it thinks is important in the data. So what I want to do now is deep dive a little bit more in how some of our customers are actually using these technologies, again, in an effort to make this a little bit more real. We're working with a customer, or let me put it to you this way. Who has ever done a large move where, you know, the mover has to come to your house, somebody's coming in, boxing everything up, load it into a tractor trailer, maybe move you across the country, right? So if we think about how that used to work, first, you're stressed about making a move. Your house is probably not the most orderly as you're trying to get everything arranged, and somebody calls up and says, yeah, when is an hour that I can come by because I need to make an inventory of your house? Not really what you want to deal with at that point in time. So one of our customers, they put their innovation hat on. And what they're able to do is they said, let's leverage something that every customer has, a cell phone. They've developed a phone application that you, at what a time that's convenient to you, you go room by room and shoot video of every room of your house. And you upload it into Amazon Web Services, and we use Amazon Recognition Video. And out of that comes the manifest. It looks at this photo and says, yep, there's a couch, there's a chair, there's a table, there's an ottoman, a plant, 3 pictures, an area rug, and it estimates it to be 500 pounds. It will also tell them how many boxes and what types of boxes that the movers need to have delivered to pack you up. Nobody comes to your house, you're done in minutes, and you can get back, you know, to the things that you need to be worrying about as you're getting ready for this move. This is extremely cost effective as well. We're talking about pennies, a few dollars per customer to operate a system like this. Another company that we're working with is called 5x5 Technologies. Very innovative company, very interesting space that they're operating in. They use drone technology to fly around a cell phone tower. They just sort of a corkscrew pattern around it. The drone is capturing very large megapixel digital camera images, like 40 megapixel per image. They're collecting between 2,000 and 5,000 digital camera photos per tower. And what we do is we use that to convert that into an engineering accurate 3D model. I'm talking a 400-foot tower resolution to a 32nd of an inch, to the point that they can count how many threads are on the bolts on mount points on these towers. The input of this is 40 to 50 gigabytes of raw digital video or digital images, and you're outputting between 100 and 150 gigapixel 3D model. So you're like, well, what do they, you know, where's AI fit into this? As the drone operator is setting up the drone, the camera may, you know, they're checking things out, making sure it's ready for its flight. The drone may start taking photos. But when you're trying to render from 2D to 3D, if you have photos that are not of what you're trying to render, it confuses the render engines. So we worked with Amazon Web Services, and they developed an AI machine learning model that could sort the photos for the company based upon whether there was any part of a cell tower or the complex of a cell tower in the photo versus not. So this not only made the render times go faster, but it also reduced their cost because time is money in the rendering stage. Also, they get charged by the gigapixels that they process through their render farm. Where are they going to go with this? They're now being asked by their customers, can you come up with a way to detect rust growth? Can you identify a crack? Can you identify crack propagation from flight A to flight B? These are all things that are being enabled today. Not tomorrow, but today with what we can do with AI and machine learning in the AWS cloud. Sentiment analysis. So this is an exercise we did at our Buffalo Tech Talk. And again, using the Amazon Deep Lens camera, we said it would be really nice, our premise was, let's measure the sentiment of the Tech Talk audience while the talks were going on. And you're like, well, why does this matter, right? There's a lot of reasons to know the sentiment of your audience, right? It could be, you know, maybe you're operating a sports team and you want to know what the sentiment of everybody is in the luxury suite, you know, trying to figure out what you could do. I mean, unfortunately, I'm from Western New York, so I have to deal with the Buffalo Bills, so everybody's never happy at the game. It'd be a little bit different down here. At least you have a, you know, reasonably winning team in the Steelers. But, you know, there's reasons to look at this. So here's what we built. I gave a couple engineers on our team, the deep lens camera, and I said, go figure something out. It took them roughly 2 hours to build this solution. 2 people, 2 hours, a working prototype. This is the architecture. It's that simple. We're using Amazon S3 for image storage. So basically what happens is the camera is running a model that just detects a face is in front of it. Uploads that image to an S3 bucket. It does about 30 frames a minute. An event fires a Lambda function that then takes that photo and sends it to the recognition service from AWS. Recognition then outputs what is the sentiment of the faces in the photo. And then we build we show some metrics of that using CloudWatch. This is an extremely low-cost architecture. We're talking like, to run it for a 4-hour tech talk, we're talking a couple dollars. Okay? I think recognition is $1 per 1,000 images scanned. Lambda functions run about 2 million executions, cost $10. Okay? So quickly prototype, quickly try something. So what did we find? So the top line here, so this was the whole Buffalo Tech Talk. The top line here is basically the happy line, okay? And so we didn't tell people we were doing this at first. The first speaker was up here. He didn't even know that this was going on. I got up and sort of introduced it, said, here's what we're doing. And the real funny thing is from that point on, the rest of the presenters were really nervous. You know, they wanted this line way up here, right? But they didn't, know what was going on. But if you look at this point right here, what I did is I started out my talk with, about 2 minutes of the old, I'm going to date myself a little bit here, the old Abbott and Costello, who's on first, right? And, for the millennials in the room, you may not know what we're talking about. Go look it up on YouTube. It's classic. We started out with that, and then I did something kind of mean to the audience, is I showed something really sad. So that's why we see this cliff, okay? So it actually worked. It detected that the mood changed. And then to bring it back up, I showed, puppy dogs greeting their service members when they came back from deployments and, brought everybody's spirits back up. But again, this was 2 to 3 hours of time for a pair of engineers to implement, okay? And yes, it's a beginning thing, but now think about the innovation cycle that you can enable with this. Again, I don't have any PhDs on staff that understand machine learning. This is now a software development problem for your organizations, okay? Doesn't require the deep expertise because Amazon Web Services is putting these tools out there for you to use, and they're just an API call away. So let's tempt the demo gods here a little bit and do a few other demos of what we can do with AI and ML. So one of the things we're going to do is look at how we can use Alexa for business to enhance our conference room settings. So I won't even ask for a show of hands of this one because I'm sure everybody in the room has experienced this. You walk into the conference room, okay, whose conference room number are we using? Everybody pulls out their phones, tries to look it up, and as we all know, the conference room phone numbers are one thing, but I don't know about you, it seems like the code to get you into the conference is gone from like, 6 digits to 8 digits to, I swear they're like 12 or 15 now that you got to type in and hope you don't get it wrong, right? So wouldn't it be nice if I could just use my voice? And then what we're going to look at is with the deep lens of sort of this idea of a digital concierge of how we can start to combine these ideas. So I'm going to step over here and we're going to try and turn some of this on and see what will happen. Alexa, is this room available?
This room is booked until 2:30 p.m. I can look for one that's free. How long would you like to book it for?
That's okay.
Okay, thanks.
So the room's booked. Let's see. Alexa, start the meeting.
Do you want to join the meeting, Brianna Butaxio's Ring Central meeting?
Yes. So now what's going on?
Welcome to Ring Central Meetings.
Entering meeting ID.
If you are the meeting host, please input your host key followed by the pound or hash sign. If you are a participant, please press the pound or hash sign to continue.
Alexa, end the meeting. Okay, so what just happened? So our telecommunications provider in our office is RingCentral. They have an Alexa for Business skill. It fully integrates to Office 365, the calendars for your conference rooms. And so when I say, Miss A, start the conference, she goes in and she looks up out of the calendar associated to that conference room, the meeting invite, parses it, and then calls out to the RingCentral APIs to start the meeting and join the Alexa to the meeting, and now that is our speakerphone in the room, okay? So let's talk about our little deep lens demo here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk in front of the camera. Hopefully there's enough light. Maybe. This is where we attempt to go.
Hello, Scott. Remember, you have a meeting in Watkins Glen right now.
Okay. So we have a little internal project, so that's great, right? So it identified my face, and it says, hey, you need to go to this particular conference room. So at our office, we have a split floor office, and the main floor is downstairs. So the thought was, you know, the CEO walks into the main office, or the main door, can direct him directly to where his next meeting is. But we want to take this a step farther, and this is an internal project that we're working on. So to develop this face model thing was about 2 hours worth of work. Again, we're using Amazon recognition. We just fed in a couple, you know, pictures of my lovely face, and then it goes, yep, okay, I know who Scott is. Where we want to take this, though, is now imagine you walk into the conference room. The camera and the Alexa are there. And it identifies your face. It looks to the conference room email, knows my face mapping to my email address, and goes, Scott, welcome to the meeting, and immediately starts the meeting for you. You don't have to say anything. Done off your face. These are just thought starters of what we can do. And again, these are services available from Amazon Web Services today. So I want to leave you with these 3 thoughts. Start trying things. Establish a culture of trying. Get the best of breed services for you from your cloud provider, and Amazon Web Services, in my opinion, is the leader in this. And it's extremely cost effective. You don't have to be an expert. The software engineers in your organizations can use this stuff today. Experiment. Leverage your data. I can't tell you the number of data lake projects that we are now getting involved in. You know, but there's really interesting things that start to happen, that you can now use data that you never thought you could use before, like photos. I'm working with multiple customers that are like, how can I extract meaningful data from these photos? You can do that today to enhance your data lakes. You can measure the sentiment of your customers. The Amazon Comprehend service that we didn't talk about. You feed it text, it will tell you the sentiment of the comments the customers left you. Or in a call center setting, if you have the recordings of your call center interactions with your customers, you feed it into the audio to text service from AWS, and then you feed it into the Comprehend service, and you know the sentiment in real time of your customers. Collaborate and challenge your teams. Go buy a couple deep racers or a couple deep lenses and just set up a hackathon for your development teams and let them experiment. And I bet you they're going to find something that can influence your business. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming. I hope to meet a lot of you in the little happy hour we have after this. I appreciate your time and attention, and we'd love to be able to help you on this journey to the cloud and using Amazon Web Services.